welcome to today's episode of This Organized Life podcast. I am your host, Laurie, Palau, and sitting beside me in the co-host seat is none other than Mr. Joshua Palau.
Yes, this is the first time we're sitting next to each other.
I know.
It's
well,
strange.
Everybody, this is probably one of the most asked about episodes with the most asked about co-host / guest. So today we are going to be doing our holiday gift guide, and we're dropping it earlier than we normally do because we are in this supply chain shortage with everything. So we want everybody to be getting a jump start on all of their holiday shopping. And thank you.
I can't work in these
really
conditions.
I mean, this is just unbelievable. This is
should be
just
on Just Third.
unbelievable. Well, I didn't realize. Sorry. Okay. So
And scene.
Okay. So one of the other requests that I get in addition to our holiday gift guide is, when is Josh going to be on the show? Because as we all know, he is the favorite Palau. He is the most loved Palau. And from
really
a rating
small company, though,
and from a no, we're talking about the masses.
Yeah.
And from a ratings perspective, I should probably have him on more regularly, because whenever Josh is on, it is our more popularly downloaded episodes. So I told him, guess what? You are going to be my co-host for the holiday gift guide episode. So first, before we get into it, how are you?
I'm good. I feel like we're recreating the scene from the internship. We were just side by side.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. We're stuck in a blender.
We
Now
are.
we are saving lives for all my fellow internship listeners. Anyway, I'm digressing. So why don't you talk about a little bit about what you like and you look for in holiday gifts?
Okay. Yeah. So, well, a couple things, and I tried to like make some categories for what I was doing, or at least for my choice. So I do like stuff. I like physical things. You know that. I like clothing stuff. I don't think I like gadgets as much anymore as I used to. Like, I'm sure I have some, but it's not like I need the new phone all the time or the new Roku. But I like things that have a function. And then I do like, as you know, I'm a big experience person, so I like to do things.
You are, but I do think that you are a stuff. So it's interesting. So I think, what would you say your what do you think your love language is?
I don't remember the love languages. You.
Oh my gosh. What I think, Josh, I mean, I definitely think gifts is very important to Josh, but I don't know if that's truly his love language, but he does like stuff. He does like opening stuff. There is an Amazon package that shows up at our house quite frequently. Granted, there are sometimes smaller things where the amount of money that I spend are on fewer but higher ticket items like home renovations, things of that nature. So, comparatively speaking, I think we can go toe to toe, dollar for dollar. You just have more volume. Josh is a volume person, and whether he likes options. He's his big sneaker guy. So that is something he likes. Different jackets, he likes different sweatshirts, different whatever it is, where I could basically have three things and rotate between them and be completely content. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, until you're like, I have nothing to wear, and then you get mad at your wardrobe.
This is true. This actually is true. So I wanted to approach our holiday gift guide today from two different perspectives, which is why I invited JP to be on as my co-host, because I think we look at the gift giving whole experience from different perspectives. And as an Enneagram 3 who sees things through one lens, and as an Enneagram 8 who sees things through a completely different lens, I thought it'd be nice to have both of our perspectives.
Yes.
So what was my homework? To give you 5 different things? I forget. What was my homework?
You just said think of gifts. Well, I only needed 5?
Oh, you have a lot?
I mean, you can see the list right there. It's hidden off camera, but I mean, I'll jump around.
Okay.
I speak fast, so it's okay.
No, it's fine. So I came up with a list of things that I think are my approach and places that I want you to go to. And then I have JP doing it. So we're going to compile all of this into one cohesive post that'll be in our show notes. So don't feel like you have to write any of this down. And then at the end, I'm going to give you 7 actionable tips from an organizing perspective of things that you can do to help make sure that you can enjoy the festivities as opposed to be stressed by the whole shopping, wrapping, gifting experience. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay. So the way that I compiled my list is I did a list of my favorite one-stop shops because I'm about convenience. So for me, especially this year, and you would think as empty nesters, I would be less overwhelmed, but for whatever reason, I feel more overwhelmed this year than I have in years past. I'm not really sure why. That's a whole therapy session, which we're not going to get into today. But for me, having a one-stop shop where I can go to a specific website and find gifts for multiple people with different interests and different age groups, different genders, what have you, is something that is bringing me peace and calm. So that's how I approach my list. Did you approach your list?
I did mine more like, well, I did categories. I did like, here's the things I like. And I think we and I talked about it. Like, I was like, okay, I'll pick stuff for men, or, if you have different interests, just because that's what I was thinking more of the things that I would want, but then with some broader appeal. So I just really picked like specific items where you can get them pretty much anywhere.
Okay. All right. And we're going to have links for everything.
We're going to have, yes, we're going to have,
we will have links in our show notes. So if you like any of the things that we talk about, you can go. And the other thing I do want to say is every single place that we mentioned today is 100% editorial. I'm not getting any sponsorship endorsements from any of these places. So if you want to give them a shout out, that's great. But none of these are paid. These are all our own personal places that we like, that we shop, that we frequent and patronize. So I just want to put that out there. All right. So as my guest,
I get to go first.
Yeah, you get to go first.
All right. Well, I guess also I'll start with my favorite category, which is experiences. So, I mean, we lived through 2020, which, as you're aware, like I had all these concerts and festivals that I was going to for music, because that's what I really enjoy. And they all went away. And so what I'm loving now is how much all this stuff is coming back. So like all these artists, I mean, it doesn't matter like what genre you're into, but for me, like Coldplay's back, Billie Eilish is back. There's a music festival in Boston in March that's called Boston Calling. It has Foo Fighters and Rage Against the Machine and a whole bunch of other great bands. And so I just think that experiences are back. And obviously, for those of you who feel comfortable with it, I mean, I think getting back to places like live music and Broadway are not only great for you as an individual and just for like recharging yourself, but also just for the people who had to sit out on the sidelines for a year who couldn't work. And so I'm a big fan of those kinds of experiences, and so that's what I'm looking for.
Yes, I agree. I think and it's also a great bonding experience for friends, for family members, and it's a way to do things as group and bulk group gifts together, which again, from a convenience organization standpoint, love that. So that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to talk about one of my favorite things, which is food, because I love food. I don't know, would you say I'm a foodie?
No, I don't.
Like, I'm not a snobby food person.
You're not a snobby foodie.
But I do enjoy food. So actually, I think food is my love language. So one of my favorite places is Goldbelly. So for those of you who don't know Goldbelly, it's a website, and I think it was started in Brooklyn, but I might be wrong on that. So please don't fact check me on that, because I could be wrong. But what it is a compilation of all different food establishments all over at least the US. I'm not sure if it's global or not.
I don't think so.
I think it's just US. And the purpose is to provide your local creature comforts that they can ship to you wherever you are. So for example, at my niece's birthday, I was able to send her like bagels from her favorite local bagel store. And I know that, if somebody likes, cheesesteaks or Chicago pizza or whatever from a specific local place, if a restaurant is participating in Goldbelly, you could send that creature comfort favorite food to a person wherever they are. So if they're missing that, that's something that you can do. And what I love about it is, first of all, it's a sustainable gift. So again, when you think about gift giving and you think about, okay, where am I going to keep it? Where am I going to store it? How am I going to hold on to it? It's sustainable. So I love the fact that Goldbelly has that sustainable component to it. Second of all, it's all about community. It's bringing you back to your local community and the local businesses that support those communities. And I'm, as a small business owner myself, and surrounded by people who own and operate small businesses, I am all about supporting that. And so every time you purchase from an establishment through Goldbelly, you are supporting a local business. So I absolutely love that. And then again, I think when you can have a gift that's personalized as much as, I love a good, item of clothing or something, random. I love the fact that this really brings you back emotionally to a point in your life, whether it was, oh, this was our favorite place when we were on vacation, or this was my favorite place when I was growing up. So I love it for those three reasons. So it's goldbelly.com. And again, we will link up to them in our show notes.
All right, I'm gonna go with, let's see, I'm gonna go with clothes, since you started with creature comforts. So I think like athleisure, which is this thing that I think now is here to stay, which I'm very thankful for. I think it's funny because I think, when we before 2020, you'd go places and you'd say, who are these people at Starbucks who could just like wear sweatpants all day, or like what job do they have? I remember being in some meeting when I was in a meeting at Google, and their office oversees this park, and I just see somebody out there at like a solid 10:30 on like a Tuesday afternoon just doing yoga. And I was like, what does that guy do? Because I kind of want his job. And so the pandemic allowed me to go buy clothes that were more comfortable, instead of, not that I wear suits ever, but jeans and t-shirts. And so there's a few brands that I really like. I'm a sucker for a good Instagram ad, but like Vuari is this one company. They make jogger pants, they make shorts. I own all their shorts really. They've got liner shorts, unliner shorts. They're good for running, they're good for exercise. But I just think they're a nice lightweight short. And again, I haven't tried their sweatpants, but the sweatpants I do like are this ones made by Mack Weldon. And so Mack Weldon's another like small business. Actually, I believe the CEO used to work at Comcast with me, though I didn't realize that he was interested in sweatpants at the time. But it's just great, like made in America, like awesome quality, small business, like you were saying, supporting that. And then I think the last one, and this is, as I'm sure will come as no surprise to you, is so like Laurie's probably said in the past, I'm a bit of a sneakerhead. I mean, nowhere near the levels of some other folks I know, but I believe that every person every person somewhere, especially if you grew up in a city, will always have some sort of affinity for the Air Jordan 1s. And they've made such a comeback in terms of like the styles and the guest designers and the colors that they offer. And so I'm a big fan actually of the Air Jordan 1, the lows, which are actually, they're not new, but basically just the low version of the Jordans. And what I love about them is they come in so many different styles and colors, but they're also really affordable. So I think if you've got somebody in your life who is, again, either a basketball fan or grew up in a city, I just think that getting them one of those Air Jordan 1 lows, which you could usually find for under $100 on either Nike or StockX, are like it's a big hit, and it's something you don't really think of buying for yourself. I think if you're a guy, because I think you're looking at usually the regular Jordans, which are like $300-400, and you don't want to spend that much. But I think this one's a real fun gift to get for somebody that they won't expect.
I think that may have been a hint for me.
Yes, don't worry.
Okay.
I'm sending links to you and in the show notes.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a company that I buy a lot of stuff from. We're going to stay with kind of the physical gift stuff here, and I'm going to talk about Mark and Graham. Mark and Graham, I love them. It's M-A-R-K and Graham, Graham. And again, we'll link up to them in the show notes. And I specifically, they have a bunch of different categories. I guess they would be considered like a lifestyle website, is what I would think. Retailer, I think is what you would call them, lifestyle retailer. But I specifically love their monogram shop, so that you can buy stuff but have it personalized. Because again, I think when people get gifts, it's really nice to be able to have that personal touch. And so they have this whole kind of monogram shop within Mark and Graham. So you could get anything from platters to monogram towels. You could also get handbags or canvas tote bags. There's tons of different things. You can do it for small businesses. Like I've gotten my team little monogram cosmetic bags, but you can also do, as a small business owner, I've gotten some of my clients gifts that are, personalized. So it can give that, again, extra touch that you gave some thought and intentionality to the gift, as opposed to just simply going and clicking, buying it from anywhere. What I also love about it is their packaging. They have everything that you get from them comes beautifully packaged and wrapped. So it's just really luxury when you open it up. And I love that. And so you can use that as kind of even cutting through that whole step of wrapping if you don't want to. But just to even open that up, that fancy, nice box with this pretty ribbon is just gives part of that whole gift giving experience. And so I love that. Some of the specific things I did make a list. So if you're watching on YouTube and you see my head down, it's because I'm reading the of my list. I went through some specific things that are related to like the organizing and storage category. So if you are looking for anything in that realm, these are some of the things that you could get, and they could be monogrammed if you want them. Okay, so here goes. A travel jewelry case, which is great. I actually need one of those.
Okay. I'll check the show notes after.
Okay. A catch-all tray. So whether it's something that you want to just put for jewelry or where your keys are, or for, you want to just drop stuff, kind of like what I call the drop spot, catch-all trays. That's what they're called. Packing cubes, which are great for travel. Huge fan of packing cubes. We recently just did our episode on travel, and packing cubes are great. They also have, going back with the catch-all tray, they have eyeglass trays, which are another thing. It's, you're like me and you leave your glasses kind of all around. It's nice to be able to have, here's your drop spot for your eyeglass case, and to be able to have it monogrammed again, just gives it a little extra touch, and you could put that on your nightstand or command center or wherever. Another thing is really nice if you have somebody, they have watch boxes that are really nice. So if somebody collects watches or jewelry, they have jewelry and watch boxes that are just really nice again, and they aren't super expensive, but it is a really nice gift, and it gives you the ability to incorporate that organization piece. For your gardener, if you have an outdoorsy gardener person, they have these, I know that's not you, city boy, but there is they have some really cute gardening tools, accessories, gardening bags, things of that nature. Other little things that you could do in terms of stocking stuffers. They have manicure sets with, clippers and things of that nature. There's wine totes. You could get a nice monogram wine tote. If somebody goes to like a lot of BYOBs, you can get them like a nice monogram wine bag and put a bottle in it. Great gift, great hostess gift. And then they have a lot of cord organizers for your tech person, and you could just get it monogrammed and keep it in your bag or briefcase or wherever you go, especially now that we're so versatile. So those are some specific things within Mark and Graham, but they have a ton of different things. And again, you don't have to get a monogram, but I love that extra little touch, and it's like maybe $10 extra to do a monogram. So it's totally worth it. I think before we go to the next section, we should probably take a break. So sit tight. We'll be right back. If you're a professional organizer or have thought about becoming a professional organizer but not sure where to start, you might want to check out our SBO Partner Program. It's a community of professional organizers from all over the globe who are running their own independent companies, but looking for community and some business strategies on how to grow and scale their business. To learn more, visit simplybeorganized.com and click on the Work With Me tab. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Oh, it's my turn now?
Yeah.
Okay, I have 2 more categories. So okay, just make sure.
That's
I
good.
You have more than that. But,
no,
right,
you're good.
I'll save my favorite one for last. Well, a second favorite one because experience is my favorite. So I do think, again, not, everybody's in some different level of working from home, but I don't think there's anybody, who's not having some, level of being at home. And so I think I was thinking about some gifts that are good for the work from home person. If you haven't already made that leap, in terms of actually outfitting your own office, but there's from the very beginning, like I got a standing desk because I can't sit at a desk all day long. I didn't sit at a desk whenever I was in an office. And so, there's a ton, and there's 2 in particular that I'll share with you to put in there of like ones that are affordable and really easy to put together and use. And lightweight, and they make them in all different sizes, but I just think the ability to be able to stand and sit during your day is really nice. And so I think if you're still working from home, that's a great one. I also found this like nice, and it's funny because you have a version of it, but it's not exactly what I found, like this little tiny erase board, dry erase board, which like kind of looks like a piece of paper, but it's just a dry erase thing. And it's just nice to have on your desk with you, because I think as I look at my setup, even though I have an actual desk and you have an actual desk, it's like, they're not these giant, like L-shaped desks that you're accustomed to in an office. So having something nice there, you can just put a quick to-do list on for the day.
Oh, I
have it right
need
next
that.
to you.
I
Yeah,
want
I'll
that.
show you it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll add it to the list.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, so that's my other one. And then the two ones, and it's funny because we probably should have had this for the 5 months my mom lived here, which was like they sell the old school like on-air signs for when you're in a radio station.
Oh my
And it just, you click the button, you turn on the light.
Funny.
Yeah. So for those of you, I mean, I don't know if it'll really stop your kids from coming in while you're in a meeting. I don't mind seeing kids when they come into meetings, but it's just nice to have this thing that you can maybe hit a button and it just turns it on. And it's kind of like more than just like sticking a note on your door saying, don't come in. It's just kind of cute. And then the last thing, which it's a bit of a reveal here, is so I've had glasses for I don't know how long. I'm at an age now where like sitting this close and trying to see a document or people make it hard. So I spent a decent part of meetings and calls with no glasses on. And I actually reconnected with a friend of mine who I worked with years ago, and I didn't have my glasses on. And he goes, I don't think I've ever literally seen you without glasses. And I said, funny story, I don't like not wearing my glasses. So like I went out and bought, hold on, here's the big Clark Kent Superman reveal. I know I look different, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh.
But I went out and I bought basically the exact same glasses from Warby Parker, blue light ones though. So at least there's some benefit to it, but no prescription. So now at least I could still feel like I'm Clark Kent and I'm, helping my eyes, but also I'm just comfortable with my glasses. And so I think if you have anybody who either is staring at the screen the whole time, blue light glasses are great, but especially if you could make them the same styles of glass that they have, especially again, if they're old and they can't see up close, this is my change. So
look at that. So you have to make sure you head over to our YouTube channel so you can see this because.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it
can't tell the difference, can you?
No,
I look the same.
You can. They have like a little bit of
they're a little different.
They have a little tint.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not so much the style, I'm like looking at the lens, but yeah, you can't really tell.
Yeah.
So look at
Look
that.
at that. That's my work from home suggestions.
Work from home. I love it. I love it. Okay. So I have a couple more. So the next one that I want to talk about is, and this is maybe where I confuse my Brooklyn thing, is Uncommon Goods. One of my favorite sites. We both have bought stuff and received stuff from Uncommon Goods, and they are based in Brooklyn. I have to be careful with Uncommon Goods because they support local artisans, which is what I love. So they are a retailer, an online retailer that has local artists with all different types of unique goods and services. Well, I don't know if it's so much services as they are tangible goods. The one caveat is you have to be careful not to just get stuff because it's super cool and then have no use for it, because as an organizer, that's the one thing that I will caution you with, is to be really intentional. But what I love about them is that you can find these really out of the box thinking gifts that are made by local artisans. Most of them are made like in the United States by small business people. They are a certified B Corp. So they're, again, all about sustainability. They, as a company, as their brand, they also support like a fair living wage. They are big advocates for paid time off, for whether it's maternity leave, paternity leave, taking care of aging parents. Like I was doing some research on the actual back end of Uncommon Goods, and they're just like do good people. And so I like to support companies that are do good people. And then, like I said, the company supports all local artisans. And you may have received, like we get their catalog. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. And I've mostly unsubscribed to most physical catalogs, but I do like getting theirs in the mail because there's all of these things that I would never have thought of. And you can get gifts for people with unique interests in specific areas. And the gifts don't have to be expensive. And so if you have somebody that's maybe hard to buy for, or somebody who has everything and you're like, what do I get that person? But you want to get them something, check out Uncommon Goods, because again, they have such a variety of unique gifts that you would not have thought of. So
I'm a big fan. I like them.
Yes, we like them. So way to go, Uncommon Goods. All right, you have one more?
My last one.
All right, go for it.
So another interest area of mine is reading. It's also general content. I mean, to your point on having a place for them. I mean, I think having too many books can be a problem. I mean, just when you're trying to put stuff, or when you live with an organizer. But I think I think there's some really good ones that are out that are probably worth looking at. And so there's a couple of like ways I'm talking about this one. It's more like content more so than just specific books. But there's this one author that I'm a huge fan of. His name's Dave Eggers, and he just came out with another book called The Every. And there's two parts about I want to talk about it. The first, so this is, if you know any of his work, if you saw the movie The Circle, that was based off of his book. The movie obviously was not as good as the book, but he's done a whole bunch of books, including my all-time favorite book. And so this one is a take on like, what if Facebook and Amazon came together as one company? And so it's a fun topic for me to think about, but it's also just like a really good book, and he has a bunch of really good stories just in general. So I recommend literally almost every one of his books. That said, though, he's part of this company called McSweeney's. It's a publishing company out of San Francisco. To your point, like small local business. Yes, the book is sold everywhere. You can buy it on Amazon for $14.99. I would rather you buy it on McSweeney's. It's definitely more expensive. You get it earlier. I think they actually offer some signed copies, but in general, like McSweeney's writes some good stuff if you haven't ever been to their website. But also just a really good book, and he's a great author, and that's where he got his start. So that's one thing. The other one is they did a I guess they're all coffee table books now of Renegades, which was Obama and Springsteen's. They did, for those of you who don't know, they did a podcast together where they just talked about like their love of music and growing up. They have very similar childhoods, and so just different outcomes of I guess where their last job ended up. But basically, it's just a really good book with lots of great pictures in it that just talks about like the lyrics and the things that they thought about, and how much music played a role, obviously, in both of their lives. So that's another good one. And then sticking with the music theme, Paul McCartney came out with it's like a 2-volume book that's got like all the lyrics from before he was in the Beatles, Wings. It's called The Lyrics, I think is actually what it's called. So it's great. Again, if you're a music history person, if you like that sort, if you like anything with the Beatles, I feel like it's like a perfect gift for someone who's in that space. I probably have a few people that's worth, but it's a $100 book, so it's got to be for somebody you really like. And then I would say the last two are not book related, but like, even though you always say like, Josh reads a lot of books, and I do, and I've never hidden this secret. I do split my time between the hardcover book or the hard copy and Audible, and I think Audible's got a ton of great books. And for all of us who are like around our house and we're walking around, like I'm not in the car anymore, but I'm just around and I can listen in so many different ways when I couldn't back at the office. And so I think it's a nice way to complement it. Also, Audible does a whole lot of their own originals, which are great, and they're free if you have a subscription. And so that's the other one that I think is really good. And then the last one, if you're looking for podcasts or additional ones, it's actually a subscription service, which I know isn't like something you normally think of for podcasts, but it's a company called Luminary. And they've got some really good podcasts with some specific people, like Seth Rogen has one, Trevor Noah has one. Again, they do a bunch of original content, but it's a subscription service. You could buy a yearly one, but I do think there's a lot of good content there. So if you're trying to find stuff that's different than what you see on Spotify or Apple, that's another good place to go check out.
Thank you.
No problem. Actually, one more, because no book gift guide would be complete without Hot Mess, a practical guide to getting organized.
Oh, Lord, I did not pay him to. Yeah. Okay. All righty. On that note. Okay. So I am going to continue with
Switch my glasses.
Go ahead. I'm going to continue on with my one-stop shop with another local company that I was just recently introduced to them, and they are called willingly.co. So that's WILLINGLEE.co. And they are based in Austin, Texas. And I was actually introduced to them because I mentioned on the show that we were headed to Austin, not we, you and me, but we, the Simply Be Organized team, and our SBO partners are going to be headed to Austin in early November for our partner retreat. And I said, hey, reach out if you're like out there in podcast land and you live in Austin. And the owners of Willingly reached out to me, and they're local artists, and they started this company. And so I investigated it and love what they do. So they do gift boxes. It doesn't have to be subscription gift boxes, but it could be a gift box that you want to give to somebody for pick an occasion. It could be a birthday. It could be congratulations. It could be a get well. It could be whatever it is. And they have themed gift boxes for all different categories with all different like fillers inside, or you can make your own. So they have like pre-made ones, or you can select from your own, from their library of goods and services. And they support all local artisans. So again, all the stuff, like if you get a candle, it's like a local candle maker in Austin that's doing that, or whatever. So, and again, I love give back, I love philanthropy. They give back 1% of all their sales, not their profits, but their actual sales, to different charities. So I don't know exactly how they select their charities, but I know that they rotate it around. So it's not just one specific charity that they support, but they're all about giving back, and they support local, and it's a husband and wife owned company. And it was something, again, as somebody who started a business that I was passionate about and kind of took a leap of faith, that's what they did. And I really liked their stuff and said, I would love to just try to encourage people to go check them out. So I'm very excited. And I highly recommend going to willingly.co and checking that out. All right. So you don't have anything else?
No, I don't think so.
That's
No.
it?
Yeah, that's it. Did you
All
have
right.
more?
Well, no, that's good. I just, I wanted to end like every other, I like to balance it out.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the other thing I was going to say before we do our wrap up, which again, you gave a lot of your book stuff around, but we're going to come back because I have to put you in the hot seat because people always like to know. I did want to wrap up by giving just some specific tactical tips as we enter the holiday season of things that you can do to stay ahead of the curve and really not, keep clutter at bay and stay organized and enjoy. So I made a list of 7 different things. And here we go. You want to just you can read them with me. So why don't you read them and then I can elaborate on them.
All right. I'm not much of a reader. That's the problem. Well, not reader out loud. That's the problem.
Oh
All right. Holiday gift planning guide. Wait, do you want to do reverse order? Is it like a top 10 list? I'll just start from the beginning. All right. Make a list.
Just go in order.
Make a list, Laurie.
Okay. So yes, make a list of all the people that you need to buy for. So that includes not just, your family, your friends, things of that nature, but all of those kind of ancillary people, the postal carrier, your hairdresser, teachers, garbage collectors, bartenders. Yes. Anybody that is a service person that is frequenting, like a recurring frequent character in your life.
Hence bartenders.
Yes. So make a list of all those people, because especially when you're so focused in on kind of those key anchor people, we can oftentimes forget or be scrambling in the last minute. So make a list of all those people and then think about, again, what you want to give them. If you want to make it generic and just give them, cash or a gift card, or if you want it to be more personalized. So, but I think it's really important to write down so that you don't forget any of those people. Okay.
And then you know what you do? You set a budget.
Yes, you do. You set a budget. Josh's least favorite thing to do, set a budget. Don't overspend. So that's the thing, is I think a lot of times we get fixated, and I know I'm someone who's guilty of this, is getting in that holiday spirit. And you are like, oh, I love this. And this really speaks to me. And I think this person would love this. And you get in the spirit of giving and generosity, which is awesome. And we love that. But what you don't want to do is put yourself in a financial hole because of it. So just really be intentional about saying, this is, whether you want to say this is the blanket number that we have to spend on holiday gifts, or you want to break it down and say, and how are we going to divide it? Or go the other way and say, okay, we want to spend X amount on such and such a, kid or person or whatever, and we're going to stay within that realm. And I think that does a couple things. It just kind of keeps from boundary perspective, as well as, again, your financial budget without having that hemorrhage. So when January comes, you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And then you're stressed.
All right. Number 3, shop early.
Which is why we're doing this now, so that you can not be stressed about, oh my gosh, this isn't coming. There's delays with, shipping, and having to pay for expedited shipping because everything is, slow, orders and all the things. So get your shopping done earlier than normal. That's what I'm recommending this year.
Can I add to that one?
Yeah.
So I would say also shop early, but check all the return policies, because we've had that issue in the past.
That's
where,
true.
and it wasn't a bad thing, but like you took care of stuff and you got stuff done early, and then for no bad reason, if someone doesn't like the gift, it's just harder to return it when you're like, oh, I bought it 3 months ago. So there are times when it's like, decide if it's a gift that you can give to somebody else at a different occasion, but just check the return policies.
Yeah, when we were just at
Don't tell them where, because then someone might know.
I was just at a retailer and I bought something for one of my kids. And I said, I'm giving it to her for Christmas. What is your return policy? Since at the time we bought it, it was October. And they said they have a holiday return policy through February. So
Works perfect.
good idea.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
Number 4, designate a holding location.
Yes, staging area. How many times have you bought something in advance and shoved it in the back of a closet or in a corner and been like, and just forgotten about it, or either completely forgotten about it so that you don't even remember that you have it, or you bought it, but you can't remember where you put it. And you're like, where is this? I know I bought this. So if you have one central kind of staging area, holding area, it could be a closet, it could be part of your basement, garage. It could be like a Sterilite bin that you keep all your gifts in. I know I was SBOing our basement the other day and I have all our gifts in one area, but I was kind of moving stuff around and I pulled out some stuff. I was like, oh, I totally forgot I bought that. And if I didn't have it in our one central spot, I would never
Gift spot.
in our gift spot, I would never have remembered to give it to that person because quite honestly, I forgot I bought it. I bought it over the summer when we were on vacation. So
all right. Keep
okay.
track of incoming and pending gifts.
Yes.
Sounds like a project for a spreadsheet.
This is a spreadsheet project. And for all of my data nerds out there, this is for you. So again, and I will link up to it. I created this like holiday gift tracker that you can download, and it just allows you to itemize the people, what you're getting them, if you've ordered it, has it arrived, and wrapped, I think. And you can customize it to whatever fields make sense for you. But especially if you're buying for multiple people and you're getting multiple things, sometimes it's hard to keep track of like, wait, did that come in? Did I actually order that? Did I think about ordering it? Did I leave it in my cart and forget to hit buy now? What did I do? And so this way you can just be intentional about keeping track on your spreadsheet if you're a spreadsheet person. And that way I know, okay, I'm still waiting for this to come in and I ordered it here, and then I can go back and check it. So
yep. Speaking of keeping track of things, keep a folder for your receipts or an envelope.
Yes. So if you are buying stuff in person, you don't have digital receipts, and you could even put a folder for digital receipts if you wanted to, but like all those paper receipts, or even packaging stuff, if it's something that you bought online that you might have to do like a shipping return, what I normally do is I just take like a manila envelope or manila folder rather, and anytime a gift comes in the mail, I just take all the packaging, the shipping stuff, and I put it in this folder. Most of the stuff is retrievable, obviously, online if you go to that retailer into your inbox. But this way I have it, and sometimes it includes like the return shipping label right there. So if in fact you do have to do that, you have it right there handy. And it keeps it all corralled in one spot so you don't have receipts and papers floating every which way.
All right, last one, simplify wrapping.
Yes. So wrapping, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can do one wrapping for everybody and change up the ribbons or the bows. I think that's what my friend Martha Carol Stewart does. She talked about that. Or you can have separate wrapping per person, which is kind of what I tend to do. And it just it makes it easy for me. So I'm like, oh, this is all this person, this is all that person. And I think, it allows me also on Christmas morning for the kids to easily be able to identify whose is what, because everybody kind of has their own location. But their own wrapping. But again, when you are getting any of your wrapping stuff, it's easy to go kind of crazy on that. I would just have a few different ones that you rotate, that you use. There's a lot of reversible wrapping paper. So you could buy multiple ones and say, okay, I'm going to use this one on this side for this person and this one on that side for another person. And a lot of times if you have local, if your kids are in schools or you have friends and family who have kids in schools, there's a lot of like fundraisers so that you can go and get some nice holiday wrapping and be supporting a cause, which is always my thing. So I think that's it.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
So we'd love to hear your any of your favorite holiday either gift tips or resources. So feel free to hop over into our Facebook group, This Organized Life Podcast, or shoot us a DM. We would love to hear about it. We're going to take one more quick break and we're going to come back. I'm going to put JP in the hot seat. So sit tight. All right.
Hot seat,
as if you haven't already been here. So you already gave us some of your favorite book stuff.
Yeah.
So, if you've listened to this show, which I'm not really sure if you have, I always ask our guests, what books have they read that are inspiring?
You have?
Oh my
I
God.
thought it's like, where are you most a mess and where are you not a mess?
I do. It is,
okay.
but but for the past year, at least.
I was not asked this question.
Well, that's why I'm asking you now.
All right.
So what book inspires you that you recommend to other people, or a book that has been inspirational to you that you can recommend to our people?
You like, and of course, like the last like 5 books I've read, I can't remember any of them now. So, well, I mean, okay, so you know this, like I read fiction. So it's not so much, which doesn't mean it's not inspiring.
No.
I just think, it's just different from I think what you're probably used to reading, which you read more like business and leadership books. So I really enjoyed Malibu Rising. And I know you read a book by the same author after that. So I think I'd say that was one that was really good. Or this other one I just read recently, which I do think was a little inspiring. You would hate it because the guy racks up credit card debt.
Oh my gosh.
It's not a spoiler alert, but is We Are the Brennans. I think it's We Are the Brennans. Yeah, it's a really good book. And so I think those are 2 that I read recently that I think, most anybody would enjoy. Easy reads, good stories. The author of Malibu Rising has written a bunch of other really good books. And so I think that's my
those are your 2.
That's my 2.
Okay. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be, a self-help or leadership book. It could be a good, and this is a holiday gift guide. These are 2 great gifts
Good
that people,
gifts.
Yeah, love it. And now, of course, the infamous, where in this particular season of your life, Joshua, do you feel the most organized?
Oh, that's the hot seat question. Yeah.
Well, there's 3.
Okay.
It's the book one now.
Okay.
It's book and now hot mess.
Right.
And where do you feel the most organized?
Yeah. Let's see. You think I have no to prepare for this question? Let's see. Where do I feel? Well, okay. So I still feel like a year, sadly, more than a year later, I still feel like I haven't gotten back to like, we have a morning routine, but it's not as, I guess, efficient as I want it to be. And so I think one of the nice things about working from home is I'm not running out of the door at 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning to beat traffic. But I feel like my day gets started later, and I feel like I can do more in that early morning time that no one's around. And I'm just not doing it. And then now as the season starts to get colder, it's like my belief that I'm going to start doing it earlier is starting to go down and down. And I was even thinking today, like today I ran out to go buy actually breakfast because I was like, I'll get out and that'll make me feel a little bit like my day's starting. And so like, should I join something or do something? But then tomorrow I'm sure I'll wake up and just want to sit around and read in the morning, and that's it. So that's a place where I want to, what is it?
That was a little bit of a hot mess. That's your hot mess. Okay. So let's end on a high note.
All
Where
right.
do you feel that you are the most organized?
Most organized. Or in control?
Yeah, that's fine.
Organized control. Let's see. I'm really loving my fantasy football teams this year. I mean, that's bringing me joy. I do think the working, like the rhythm, I guess now of working from home and the team that I'm working with, I just think like I've got a nice rhythm of like going into the office a couple of days a week, setting time aside as I do those. So like I'm trying to meet with other people, connect with folks, because we still have like different policies for people in the office. So I feel like I'm doing a good job of designating days, getting in at those times, but again, not leaving at the crack of dawn. So I'm still, enjoying some of the morning time, but then also being mindful about like scheduling lunches, dinners, like things to do with people so that I can get back to the connections that, as you know, like I really enjoy that I haven't been able to do for, the past year.
Thank you. I like it.
All right.
And I will add, I think Josh continues to stay on top of his laundry A game.
I do.
So, as we
Yes.
know, for any of my longtime listeners, laundry loving Josh continues to,
That doesn't change.
nope,
Laundry never stops.
stops for no one, COVID or not. So, anyway, well, thank you for coming on our show.
Thanks.
Thank you for sitting next to me in this very important holiday gift guide episode. Again, if this is your first time tuning in, thank you for being here. Make sure you click the subscribe and follow button so that you can download any new episodes. You can go back and listen to any of our past episodes. We've got hundreds at this point. So pick the ones that seem of interest to you and connect with us. We're all over social and on YouTube. So if you want to see my handsome JP with his multi-glasses, head on over to our YouTube channel and you can check us out. Until next week, I'm Laurie Palau. Peace out.